Asterisk, the air smelled like smoke and metal. Private Cole Hunter blinked slowly as his eyes adjusted to the dim blue light. His body felt heavy. Pain throbbed in his shoulder, ribs, and legs. He groaned quietly and tried to sit up, but a sharp stab of pain in his side made him stop. He wasn't on the battlefield anymore. He was lying on a soft bed inside a medical tent. Alien technology hummed softly around him. The bed felt warmer than it should have, and the air was cleaner, too clean. He was in an alien healing pod. The war had ended 2 days ago. Cole remembered the final explosion. The alien warlord's tower had collapsed. He'd gone in alone to destroy the core. Then, darkness. He must have been pulled out of the ruins. Cole turned his head slightly and froze. Someone was sitting beside him, not a doctor. Not a nurse. Not human. She was an alien girl. Young, beautiful. She had light violet skin and long white hair that fell over her face like snow. Her ears were long and pointed, her body thin and delicate. She sat on her knees, her hands resting on her lap. Her wrists were bound in silver cuffs with small blinking lights. She didn't speak. She didn't move. She only watched him. With wide, frightened eyes, Cole stared at her, confused. "Who are you?" She didn't answer. Her lips parted slightly, but no words came out. She looked down, as if ashamed to meet his eyes. Cole looked around. The room was quiet. No guards, no doctors. Just him. And her. Then his eyes fell on a small metal card hanging from her collar. He reached for it slowly. Reward for bravery, property of Private Cole HFY. He stared at it in shock. Reward? Property? "No," he whispered. "That's not right." She flinched when he spoke. Her shoulders tensed like she expected to be hit. Cole lifted his hands slowly, showing he meant no harm. "Hey, it's okay," he said in a soft voice. "I'm not going to hurt you." Still, she didn't respond. Cole leaned back into the bed, heart racing. What kind of sick joke was this? Who would give a living being a scared girl as a reward? He felt sick. A few moments later, the flap of the tent opened. A tall alien soldier stepped in, wearing the colors of the Alliance. "Ah, you're awake," the alien said. "Your wounds are healing well. Congratulations, human. Your victory was impressive." Cole didn't look at him. He pointed at the girl. "What is this?" he asked firmly. The alien smiled with his strange, sharp teeth. "Your reward. She was captured from the enemy royal house. A rare beauty, valuable too. You earned her." "I didn't ask for this," Cole said. "She's a person." "She's a slave," the alien replied coldly. "You saved thousands of our soldiers. Take her, enjoy her, or sell her if you wish." The alien walked out before Cole could speak again. He turned back to the girl. She hadn't moved an inch. A deep sadness filled her eyes, as if all hope had left her long ago. Cole hated that look. It reminded him of something from Earth dogs in cages, too afraid to bark. He couldn't stand it. "What's your name?" he asked softly. Her lips trembled. She hesitated, then whispered, "Lurai." It was the first word she had spoken. Her voice was soft and broken. "Lurai," Cole repeated. "That's a beautiful name." She didn't smile. She just lowered her head and whispered, "Do what you want. Just don't send me back." His heart sank. How many hands had she passed through before this? How much pain had she hidden behind that silence? Cole made a decision right then. "I don't want a slave," he said quietly. "And I'll never hurt you." She looked up slowly, unsure if she believed him. But there was a flicker of something in her eyes now. Not hope, but maybe the beginning of it. As Cole lay back down, pain tugging at his wounds, he knew one thing for sure. This girl was not a reward. She was a prisoner, and someone had to protect her, even if the war was over. His fight had just begun. Rain tapped gently against the roof of the alien shelter. Cold blue light filled the quiet room. Cole Hunter sat on the edge of the bed, staring at his hands bandaged, bruised, still shaking from the last mission. It wasn't the pain in his body that kept him awake, it was the girl. Lyrae sat silently on the floor, wrapped in a thin gray blanket. She didn't sleep. She hadn't closed her eyes since he woke up. She just watched him, like she was waiting for something terrible to happen, like she was used to it. Cole's voice broke the silence. "You don't belong in chains." Lyrae didn't answer. She only pulled the blanket tighter around herself, her eyes still afraid, still guarded. Cole got up slowly and walked over. He didn't get too close. He knelt a few feet away from her, lowering himself so they were eye to eye. "I know what they told you," he said quietly. "That I own you now. That I can do whatever I want." She looked down, avoiding his gaze. "But I'm not like them," he continued. "I don't want a slave. I want to help you, if you'll let me." Her lips parted just a little. "You help me?" He nodded. "Yes." "Why?" A simple question, but it hit hard. Cole didn't know how to answer at first. He ran a hand through his hair and sighed. "Because I've seen enough pain. I've caused enough pain. I don't want to be part of it anymore." He looked at her wrists, the glowing cuffs still locked in place. "Let me get those off." She pulled her hands back instantly, like a wounded animal. "No," she whispered. "If they see the chains gone, they'll think I escaped. They'll kill me. And you too." Cole hesitated, then sat back. "All right," he said gently. "We won't take them off, not yet. But that doesn't mean you're not free here. Do you understand?" Her fingers trembled slightly under the blanket. "You say I'm free," she said slowly. "But I can't leave." "I know," he replied. "And that's wrong. But as long as you're with me, I promise I'll protect you." For the first time, she looked him directly in the eyes. Her stare was long and quiet, as if trying to search for lies. But all she saw was a tired man with scars, some on his body, some deeper. "Why did you come to our world?" she asked suddenly. Cole looked surprised. It was the first real question she had asked him. "We were told your people were building weapons that could wipe out Earth cities," he answered. "We came to stop that." "And what if it was a lie?" she asked. Cole froze. He had no answer. Before he could respond, someone knocked at the tent door. A sharp, impatient knock. Cole stood up quickly and moved toward the entrance. A voice called from outside. "Private Cole, the commander wishes to see you." "Bring the girl." Lyrae shrank back. Cole's jaw clenched. He looked at her, then at the door. He spoke in a calm but firm voice. "Tell the commander I'll be there soon. Alone." "No, sir," the voice replied. "Both of you, now." Cole turned to Lyrae. She looked terrified. "You don't have to speak," he whispered to her. "Just stay close. I'll handle it." She nodded slowly. Minutes later, they entered the command tent. Inside, 3 alien officers stood around. A table, faces cold and unreadable. One of them pointed at Lyrae. "She belongs to House Varian. Do you know what that means?" Cole shook his head. "No, it means she's a symbol of power. A threat to the new peace. You were given her for pleasure, not to protect." Cole's eyes narrowed. "She's not an object. She is now," the alien officer snapped. "That's the law." Lyrae didn't speak. She stared at the floor, like she wanted to disappear. Cole stepped in front of her. "I won't give her back." "You will," the officer growled, "or we'll take her by force." Cole leaned closer. "Then you'll have to fight me." The room went silent. One of the officers smirked. "Interesting. You're willing to die for her?" "I'm willing to live for her," Cole said. "And that's even more dangerous." As they left the tent, Lyrae whispered something under her breath. Cole barely heard it. "Why are you kind to me?" she asked. He looked at her gently. "Because no one else was." The rain had stopped. But the storm inside the tent remained. Larai stood in front of a small mirror, one that Cole had found and placed on a crate. She touched her face carefully, as if seeing herself for the first time. The soft glow of the healing lamp made her violet skin shimmer, but it could not hide the old bruises or the thin scar that ran behind her left ear. She turned slightly and pulled her blanket down just enough to look at her back. Cole didn't mean to stare, but when she moved, he saw them. Scars. Dozens of them. Thin, sharp, painful looking. They were not from the war, they were from before. Larry caught him looking, and her body froze. I wasn't spying, Cole said quickly, raising his hands. I just didn't expect. She turned away, pulling the blanket back up. You saw it now, she said quietly. So, what do you think? I think someone hurt you, many times, she didn't reply. Her silence said enough. Cole stepped forward slowly. You weren't just a servant, were you? Larry shook her head. No, she whispered. I was a voice of peace. I used to speak in front of crowds. I wanted my people to stop the war, but that made me dangerous. She looked over her shoulder, so they silenced me. Cole felt like someone had punched him in the chest. You were a leader? I was, until they broke me, she said. They told everyone I betrayed the planet, that I helped the humans. And then they gave me to you. Her voice cracked on the last word. Cole sat on the crate near her, trying to stay calm. You're not broken, he said. She laughed bitterly. My body is marked. My name is cursed. Even my own blood wants me gone. What am I, if not broken? Cole leaned forward. You're still alive. You're still fighting. He paused. I've seen. Broken, you're not it. For a few moments, the tent was silent again, except for the quiet hum of the generator outside. Then Larray sat beside him, not too close, not too far. She spoke softly. You don't look like the men they warned me about. What kind of men? The kind that take. The kind that smile, then chain you tighter. The kind who pretend to be kind, just to watch you break slower. Cole clenched his fists. I've known men like that too, he said. But I'm not one of them. She nodded, slowly. Then she asked, do you still want me? Now that you've seen the truth? Cole looked at her, truly looked at her, not just the beauty, not the body, not the chains, but the soul inside. I don't want a reward, he said. I want a choice, and I choose to protect you. Her eyes softened. Just a little. He stood and picked up a small medkit from the supply table. These scars, did anyone treat them? She shook her head. Not properly, she whispered. They wanted them to stay. He opened the kit and knelt beside her. May I? She paused, breathing deeply. Then nodded. Cole began to clean the old wounds one by one. He worked slowly, gently, more like an artist than a soldier. Larray flinched at first but didn't stop him. Each touch was soft, not like pain, more like care. When he was done, he wrapped a small cloth around her arm and sat back. You don't have to hide anymore, he said. Not from me. Larray looked down, silent for a moment. Then, almost too soft to hear, she said, I don't know how to be free anymore. You'll remember, Cole said with a small smile. And I'll help you. Just then, the tense communicator buzzed. Cole walked over and picked it up. A voice came through, low, rough, urgent. Hunter. We've got trouble. Someone's looking for the girl. And they're close. Cole's heart dropped. He turned to Larry. She was already standing, eyes wide with fear. They found me, she whispered. They never stop. Cole looked at her, and then at his gear. He grabbed his weapon and cloak. Then we don't stay, he said. Where will we go? She asked. He held out his hand. Somewhere they can't touch you. Somewhere we decide. Lyra stared at his hand. She hesitated, then placed hers in his. It was the first time she had touched him by choice, and it meant everything. Asterisk. It started with a dream. In the middle of the night, Cole woke up gasping for air. Flames, screams, a tower falling. Not just a dream, a memory, but this time, something was different. In the dream, he saw her. Lerai, not as a slave, not in chains. She stood tall, wearing royal armor, leading a group of alien guards into the burning city. Her voice gave orders. Her eyes burned with courage. Then darkness. Cole sat up, sweat on his neck. It didn't feel like a dream. It felt like a message. He looked over. Lerai was asleep beside the heater, curled under her blanket. She looked peaceful now, but her past, it wasn't peaceful at all. He needed answers. The next morning, while Lerai rested, Cole stepped out of the tent and walked to the supply zone. He asked an alien mechanic, "Where are the personal effects from the battlefield, the ones not destroyed?" The mechanic pointed toward a locked crate near the back wall. Stuff taken from high-value prisoners. Why? Cole didn't answer. He walked over and opened the crate. Inside, under old uniforms and bent armor pieces, he found a folded dark cloak. He knew it the moment he touched it. This belonged to her. There was something hard inside the folds. A small object, a communicator. Hidden, sleek, and still active. He pressed a button. At first, silence. Then a soft female voice came through. "To anyone who finds this, please know, the war was not what it seemed." Cole's blood ran cold. The voice was clear, strong. "Lerai." She was trying to send a message, he whispered. "To someone, maybe to everyone." The message continued, "If this is heard after my capture, then I have failed to stop the plan. The noble houses, including my own, have betrayed our people. They started this war not for defense, but for profit. They used lies to fuel hatred." Cole stared at the communicator. Lerai wasn't just a voice for peace. She was a whistleblower. She tried to stop the war, tried to expose the truth. And they punished her by making her a reward, a gift, a warning to others. His hands trembled. Someone had buried this message. Someone powerful. He rushed back to the tent. Lerai was awake, watching him with tired eyes. Cole knelt beside her. "Lerai, I found this," he said, holding out the communicator. Her face went pale. "I thought they destroyed it." She whispered, "You tried to tell the truth." She nodded, voice shaking. "I recorded it before I was arrested. I gave it to a friend. I didn't know if it ever made it out." "It didn't," Cole said. "They hid it. But now it's in the right hands." She looked away. "It doesn't matter. The war is over. The liars won." "No," Cole said firmly. "It matters more than ever." He took a breath, then asked, "Why did you risk everything?" Lerai met his eyes. "Because I believed in something better. Because I didn't want our children to grow up in lies." There was silence between them, but not cold silence. It was heavy, real, full of shared pain. Cole stood up. "I'm taking this to command," he said. "They need to hear it." "No," Lerai jumped to her feet. "If you go alone, they'll silence you too. That message is dangerous." "Then we go together," he said. "They won't touch you if the whole camp sees." "But they will," she whispered. "They already tried." Cole narrowed his eyes. "Then let them try again." Later that evening, Cole called for a meeting in the mess hall. Soldiers, both human and alien, gathered out of curiosity. Some laughed. Some sneered. But when Cole stepped forward with the communicator, holding Lirai's hand tightly in his, the room went quiet. He played the message, and the room changed. Faces turned pale. Whispers began. Officers shifted uncomfortably. Soldiers looked at each other in shock. The truth hit them like a wave. She wasn't a traitor. She was a hero, a brave one, and they had treated her like dirt. After the message ended, Lerai stood beside Cole and said one sentence, her voice clear, strong, and unafraid. "I was not a gift. I was a warning." She turned and walked out. Leaving everyone silent behind her, Cole followed, his heart pounding. The truth was out, but danger had just begun. Asterisk. Asterisk. The first shot wasn't fired with a weapon. It was a whisper. A quiet voice in the dark. They're coming for her. Cole didn't see who said it. He only heard the words and felt the shift in the air. Something had changed. Something dangerous was moving closer. The next morning, Larry stood near the edge of the supply tent, looking at the rising twin suns. Her face was calm, but her eyes were not. She had the look of someone watching a clock ticking down to her end. Cole came up behind her. Bad dreams? She nodded without turning. I dreamed I was back in the cage, and you weren't there. He placed a hand on her shoulder. That's not going to happen. But she didn't answer, because she already knew they were coming. It began with a ship, black, silent, no markings. It hovered just outside the base. No flags. No signals. The commanders said it was a royal inspection team. Cole knew better. He saw the fear in the officers' eyes, the tension in their voices. They were told to stay quiet. Then a message came through. Return the female to her owners immediately. This is not a request. Cole felt his fists tighten. She's not an object. The commanding officer pulled him aside. Listen, human. This is bigger than you, bigger than her. If you protect that girl, you could start another war. Cole stared back. Maybe that war never ended. The officer sighed. Then die in it alone. That night, Cole and Larry sat in the tent, surrounded by silence. He had packed a small bag with food and a map. He planned to escape with her, but she shook her head. I don't want you to run because of me. I'm not running, he said. I'm protecting what matters. She touched his arm. If we leave, they'll say I brainwashed you. They'll hunt you forever. I'd rather be hunted than live knowing I let them take you. Suddenly, the tent wall exploded. Flames, smoke, shouting. Elite soldiers poured in, black armor, silent boots, no mercy. Cole grabbed his weapon and shoved. Lerai behind him, stay down. He shouted. They opened fire. He returned it, every shot sharp, fast, deadly. But he was one man. They had a squad. Still, he didn't step back. He fought like a cornered animal, not for glory, not for survival, for her. A blast hit his shoulder. He dropped to one knee. Two soldiers rushed forward, but Lerai stood up. She screamed something in her native tongue and then moved like a shadow. Fast, precise, deadly. She took one soldier's arm and twisted. Bones cracked. She used the body as a shield and kicked the second one in the neck. They fell. Cole stared in shock. You're trained. She didn't answer. She was already pulling him to his feet. I wasn't just a speaker, she said. I was a protector of my people, of the truth. They ran into the dark, fire behind them, alarms blaring. Outside the camp, they hid behind broken rocks. Cole was bleeding. Lerai tore her blanket and wrapped it around his arm. I can't lose you, she whispered. You won't, he smiled through the pain. But I think I just made some powerful enemies. She touched his cheek. Then let's make powerful friends. They heard the soldiers searching nearby. Cole reached into his pocket and pulled out the communicator. I still have your message, he said. And now the whole system will hear it. She nodded. Then maybe, this time, the truth will win. Asterisk. The stars were the only witnesses. Above them, the night sky stretched wide, quiet, cold, and endless. Below, two shadows moved through the broken land. One limped. One led. Cole's shoulder bled again. He pushed forward anyway. Lerai guided him with quiet steps. Her hand never left her weapon, eyes scanning the dark horizon like a hunted animal who had grown tired of running, but still ran to survive. They had escaped the base. But they weren't free. Not yet. The ship that came for her still floated in the sky like a vulture. Drones searched the land. Scanners buzzed across every ridge. There were wanted signals now offered in 5 alien languages. Human soldier. Coal hunter, traitor. Lurai variant, stolen property. Cole chuckled bitterly when he saw one of the holograms projected in the air. Didn't think I'd become a wanted man in 2 galaxies, he said. Lerai didn't laugh. She just handed him a water bottle. You didn't become a criminal, she said softly. You became someone dangerous to liars. They camped that night inside the remains of a crashed transport ship. It had long been forgotten, half covered in sand, bones scattered near its rusted hatch. Cole sat by a small fire, wincing as he stitched his own shoulder. Lurai watched him, sitting close but silent. You should sleep, he told her. I can't, she replied. Nightmares? No, she whispered. I'm afraid to close my eyes, I might wake up. Back in a cage. Cole reached out slowly and placed his hand over hers. That won't happen. Not while I'm breathing. She looked at him. The firelight danced in her eyes. I believe you, she said. And that scares me. Why? Because I'm starting to feel safe. And I forgot what that feels like. The next morning, they walked across the barren plains. No trees, no buildings, just dust, broken stone, and heat. Their shadows stretched long beside them. Hours passed in silence. Then far in the distance, they saw it, a listening tower. Old, human-made. Once used during the early days of the war. If it still worked, they could send Lurai's message off-world. To the neutral planets. To the press. To the truth. They moved faster. But as they neared the tower, they saw signs of trouble. Tracks. Fresh ones. Someone's already here, Cole said. Crouching low. Lurai spotted something glinting behind the rocks. A sniper drone, she whispered. They got here first. They hid for an hour, watching from the cliff. 3 mercenaries in black armor patrolled the tower. Not soldiers. Hired hunters. Paid to silence. Think we can sneak in? Cole asked. No, Lurai said. But I can distract them. I'm not letting you go alone. I wasn't asking. Before he could argue, she slid down the hill silently like a shadow. Cole had no choice. He followed her lead. What happened next was fast and brutal. Lurai used the wind, the rocks, and her speed. She struck one merc from behind and disabled his comms before he could scream. Cole shot another through the knee. Before he reached his weapon, only one remained. He tried to run, but Lurai tackled him and held her blade at his throat. Cole rushed forward and pulled her off. Lurai, it's over. You don't have to. I do, she said through clenched teeth. They'll never stop, unless I end it. But if you become like them, he said softly, then they win. She closed her eyes. And let the last one go. Inside the tower, Cole connected the communicator to the old transmitter. The screen buzzed. Static, then connection. A voice answered on the other end. This is Solaris News. Who is this? Cole stepped back. Lurai stepped forward. My name is Lurai, she said into the mic. And I have a message for the galaxy. She pressed play. The recording, the truth went live. Across channels. Across borders. Across walls built on lies. She stepped back, breathing hard. Not from fear, but from freedom. They watched the sky as night fell. Ships were already moving. Some would come to stop them, but others might come to help. Cole sat beside her and handed her a piece of dry food. Think we'll live to see how this ends? He asked. Lurai smiled, small, tired, but real. I don't know, she said. But if we die, at least I'll die as me. Not their puppet. He raised his canteen like a toast. To truth. She raised hers. To the only human who ever looked at me and didn't see a reward. Peace doesn't come with silence. It begins with someone brave enough to speak. And Lurai had spoken. Now, the galaxy was listening. The broadcast spread like a fire no one could stop. From dirty city streets to rich palace halls, from rebel camps To neutral stations, every screen lit up with her face, her voice, her truth. The daughter of House Varian, the slave once given as a reward. The key to everything they tried to bury. They didn't run anymore. They waited. Cole and Lerai stayed in the tower, watching the skies. One ship appeared first, then 2, then 10. Some came with weapons, some with cameras. Some came to kill, but others came to protect. A human transport ship landed near the tower. Soldiers stepped out, but their guns were lowered. Their commander, an older woman with a steel voice, approached slowly. "We saw the transmission," she said. "Command is in chaos. You've just rewired history." Cole stepped forward. "She needs asylum." Lerai added, "And we need safety. Just long enough to finish this." The woman looked at them both. "You'll have it, but be ready. The ones who fear truth are always the fastest to strike." They flew to the central human station orbiting above the neutral zone. A place where politics danced and lies dressed in suits, but this time, truth arrived in chains no more. Lerai walked through the halls without fear. Her back straight, her face calm. The cuffs that once held her now carried in her hands as proof. She stood before the Galactic Council alien and human leaders, cold and curious. They asked her questions. She answered with fire. "My people sold me like an object," she said, "because I knew the truth. But now you all know it too. And you must choose keep the silence or end the cycle." The room was quiet for a long moment. Then someone stood, then another. Then all of them. In anger. In respect. Later, alone in a quiet room, Cole sat on the edge of a metal bench, looking down at the floor. His wounds were healing. His name was spreading too, but he didn't care about the fame. He just wanted her to be okay. The door slid open. Lerai stepped in. No chains. No fear. No blanket hiding her skin. She wore a simple white outfit. Clean. Fresh. Free. Cole stood quickly. "Everything all right?" She nodded. "Better than I ever thought possible." They stood in silence for a few seconds. Then she smiled gently. "I was a gift once," she said. "But not a reward. A warning. A broken thing." "You were never broken," he replied. She stepped closer. "And now, I want to choose." "Choose what?" "To stay," he blinked. "With me?" She nodded. Double quotes. "Not because you own me," she said. "Not because you saved me, but because when I was lost, you never looked away." His voice was soft now. "I never could." She touched his hand. "I was the key to peace," she whispered. "But you were the lock that opened it." Epilogue. 1 year later. Peace talks were slow, but they were happening. The Varian house fell. A new voice rose. Leirai's. She wasn't a symbol anymore. She was a leader. And Cole? He didn't return to war. He stood beside her, not as a hero, not as a soldier, but as a partner. In the new world they were building together.